The light filling your room right now is white. Except it isn't. There is no white coming out of that bulb. What's actually inside there is a tiny chip glowing electric blue, and someone painted over it to fool your eyes. And that's not even the strange part. The strange part is that this exact blue chip, the one hiding in almost every screen and bulb you own, was considered physically impossible to build. It defeated Sony. It defeated Toshiba. It humiliated entire corporate research labs for 3 decades. So here's what we're actually going to do. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how a chip of crystal turns raw electricity directly into light, without fire, without heat, without a burning filament, which is something humans literally could not do until recently. I'll show you the single trick that makes white light possible. And then I'll tell you the story of the 3 men who spent their lives chasing the one color of light everyone else gave up on. One of whom was paid a $200 bonus for an invention that went on to generate billions. Yeah, we'll get there. This isn't fringe stuff. The breakthrough at the center of this video won the 2014 Nobel Prize in Physics, awarded in the committee's words for an invention of the greatest benefit to mankind. So let's open up the bulb. Touch an old-school incandescent bulb after it's been on for a minute, and you'll burn yourself. Touch an LED, barely warm. That difference is the entire story. Here's how every light worked for over a century. You take a thin wire, you shove electricity through it, and you fight it. The wire resists. It heats up to thousands of degrees, and like a poker pulled from a fire, it glows. The problem? You're not building a light. You're building a tiny heater that happens to glow. About 95% of the energy becomes heat you didn't want, and only a sad little 5% becomes actual light. For 100 years, that was the best we had. An LED throws that whole idea in the trash. It doesn't burn anything. It doesn't get hot to make light. So if it's not heat, where is the light coming from? The answer is hiding inside a single, very special crystal. LED stands for light-emitting diode, and a diode is just a crystal, a semiconductor that's been deliberately split into 2 personalities. On one side, scientists add atoms that leave the crystal with a few extra electrons. We call that the negative side. On the other side, they add different atoms that create tiny empty parking spaces where electrons are missing. Physicists call these gaps holes. And yes, a hole behaves like a real positive particle. So picture it. One side crammed with electrons, desperate for somewhere to go. The other side full of empty seats waiting to be filled. The only thing keeping them apart is a thin border in the middle, the junction. Now, flip the switch. Electricity pushes the electrons across that border. And here's the magical moment. An electron drops into a hole. When that electron settles into the empty space, it has to let go of a little energy to fit, like a ball rolling down into a valley. And in these special crystals, that leftover energy doesn't escape as heat. It escapes as a single particle of light, a photon. That's it. That's the whole secret. Electrons falling into holes, each one burping out a flash of light. Multiply that by trillions per second, and you get a glowing bulb. We even have a word for it, electroluminescence, light born directly from electricity. But this raises a sneaky question. How does the crystal decide what color that light is? This is the part that quietly runs your entire visual world. The color of an LED isn't chosen by a paint or a filter. It's decided by how far the electron falls. A small drop releases a small amount of energy, and that comes out as red light. A bigger drop releases more energy. Green. And the biggest drop of all, the hardest one to engineer, releases the most energetic visible light there is. Blue. Scientists control this by literally choosing different crystal recipes, swapping the atoms inside to set the size of that energy gap. Want red? Easy. We cracked that in the 1960s. Green? Done. But blue? Blue is where this story almost ended in failure for 30 years. Okay, quick payoff before the twist, because I promised you the white light illusion. Here's the trick. There is no such thing as a white LED. White isn't a color a single LED can make. So manufacturers cheat. Beautifully. They take a blue LED chip and paint a thin layer of yellow powder, called phosphor, right on top of it. The blue light smashes into that yellow coating, and the coating glows yellow in response. Now your eye is getting blue and yellow at the same time, and when blue and yellow mix, your brain reads it as white. So the warm, white, cozy light over your dinner table? It's an electric blue crystal wearing a yellow coat, tricking your eyeballs every single second. Which means the entire modern world of bright, efficient white light depends on one component above all others: a working blue LED. And that, the blue one, is the impossible one. Red and green LEDs showed up in the 1960s, and everyone assumed blue was just around the corner. It wasn't. It took another 30 years. Because to make blue, you need a crystal with a huge energy gap. And the best candidate, a material called gallium nitride, was a nightmare. Nobody could grow it cleanly. The crystals came out full of defects. Most of the scientific world declared it a dead end and walked away to chase easier materials. 3 people refused to quit. In Japan, Isamu Akasaki and his student Hiroshi Amano spent a decade failing, until 1986, when they finally grew a clean gallium nitride crystal by layering it on sapphire. Then, almost by accident, they discovered that zapping the crystal with an electron beam unlocked the final piece. And then there's Shuji Nakamura, and this is the part that should make your jaw drop. He wasn't at a famous university. He worked at a small chemical company called Nichia, mostly alone, often building his own equipment by hand. While the giants of the industry threw millions at the problem and lost, this one man in a small lab cracked it. In 1993, he built a blue LED that shone as bright as a candle. Here's the dark, very human twist. For an invention that would go on to generate billions of dollars and reshape the lighting of the entire planet, Nakamura's company reportedly paid him a bonus of $200. $200. He eventually left, sued his former employer, moved to America, and 20 years later, he and his 2 collaborators stood on a stage in Stockholm and accepted the Nobel Prize in physics. The light that fills your home tonight, it exists because 3 stubborn people kept chasing a color the entire world had given up on. Now, let's make this useful for you. So here's the one thing to actually do with all this. Next time you buy a bulb, stop looking at watts. Watts measure how much energy a bulb eats. That was only ever useful when bulbs were basically heaters. For an LED, you want lumens, the number that measures actual light produced. And look for the Kelvin number on the box. Low Kelvin, around 2700, means more of that yellow phosphor, giving you warm, cozy light. High Kelvin means less coating, letting more of the raw blue shine through. That's the cold daylight look. You now understand, at the level of physics, exactly what that little number is doing. You're literally choosing how much blue to let escape. Which leaves one last uncomfortable thought. We just said the bright daylight bulbs are the ones leaking the most raw blue light into your eyes. And it turns out that exact blue light is the same wavelength your brain uses to decide whether it's daytime. The signal that tells your body to stop producing the chemical that lets you sleep. So if you've ever wondered why you lie awake staring at the ceiling after scrolling in bed, it's not in your head, it's in the light. I broke down exactly what blue light does to your brain at night and how to fix it in this video right here. Go watch it before tonight.